Don Walker, and this is my wife, Carol Walker.
Hello.
And we're glad to have you here with us today in our studio. And today's a little different. We're interviewing someone.
Very special guest.
A special guest, a friend of a friend.
Yes.
And so I'll turn it over to Carol.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you, honey, and our audience a little bit about our guest. Her name is Mink Fuller, and she is a woman who ministers joy and happiness and hope as an inspirational speaker to just everyone. She does a really good job of it too. She wants us all to enjoy life to the fullest. She practices that and wants us to also. So anyway, I'm going to tell you just a little bit. I'm going to cover some of the things she does to prepare our audience for some exciting visit with us.
Then we'll get her up here.
Yeah. Okay, some of the things she does. First of all, she's a conference speaker. So anybody that, after you see the video, if you'd like to have her come on, we'll put that information across the screen. And she recently did, as a matter of fact, that's where I heard about her from our friend, is that she did a ministry with a group called Hearts of Fire. It was a program called Hearts of Fire, and she's an inspirational speaker for them, so I'll have her tell us a little bit about that. And she is a co-founder of a charity for cancer, so that's really interesting. In addition to all that, she does a ministry. She writes a blog. Now her blog is online, and it's titled Breakfast with Solomon. And we know Solomon.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's probably your favorite book of the Bible, or one of them at least.
Proverbs? Oh, absolutely.
Every time we start to, let's read some Proverbs. So it's really good. And she's going to tell us about her blog. And then I want her to tell us about her personal ministry, her personal testimony. That's pretty exciting too, because she was raised in the home of a I want to say hard shell, maybe I can get away with that, but pastor. Baptist pastor.
Minister.
Yeah, sometimes preachers' kids have a pretty hard time in life. But anyway, she'll tell us about that. Now, also, I have saved the best. It's not the best to last, because all about Jesus is our best. But something that our people will really enjoy learning about is that Z has been called a dumpster diva. A dumpster diva. Now, she has antiques. She's an artist. She is an artist, and she'll tell us about her art. And she has antiques, and she is in the appraising business. So, anyway, I guess I've covered enough, but stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Okay?
Awesome. Well, let's trade chairs and get her up here.
Okay, we will.
Okay.
Welcome, Z. We're so happy that you're here with us today.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, Carol. I appreciate it very much.
Oh, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
it really is.
Fun.
Okay, I had mentioned that you're a conference speaker. Motivation, inspiration. Not just conferences, but you'll speak, and you're a storyteller. You have some wonderful stories.
Right.
It just goes on and on. You're amazing. I don't know how you get it all done.
Thank you.
But the one thing we talked about a minute ago is the conference that you did. It's called Hearts of Fire, and their work, and I'm speaking from what I know about them, is that they work to change lives. And you were just one of the most powerful speakers, or one of the powerful speakers that they had, and they were talking about and providing tools for helping, I guess I'm assuming women mostly, but anybody really.
Right. Families, yes.
Families.
Women, yes.
To overcoming and healing for all types of life's difficulties and experiences. So anyway, that's organized by a nonprofit group titled Love Thy Neighbor.
Correct.
Could you tell us what you talked about that day?
Well, that day I did not give a testimony necessarily, but I told a story, which I hope they could relate to, and I got great feedback on it, so I think it did work, of how someone can lose faith and how they can regain faith by looking for and seeking after God. And this was just the story of a little girl who did exactly that. And on her journey, she found what I call splashes of joy, which were just stones that she found along her journey to this mountaintop, searching for the face of God. And each of these stones had a saying on them, like, believe you can, or, look for the possibilities. All of these things that she needed to know as a 9-year-old, and she had lost her mother, and she was sad, and it's a long story, but it was ended with her being joyful and knowing that she had certainly found the face of God again, and she was able to bring that joy back home to her grieving father. So that story, I hope, helped others in any type of grief that they were going through, where a lot of times people are going through trials and tribulations and they just don't feel God is with them anymore.
Yeah.
So that was what that was about.
We love that. Dawn and I have done programs on overcoming and helping people find joy,
Right.
and hope. Today, with everything that's going on, we need hope more than ever, don't you think?
Yes, and I carry these little stones with me. I call them splashes of joy. I carry them with me. And when someone comes up to me or God sends me somebody, I just press one of these stones in their palm and I say, we're supposed to share joy and grab joy where we can. So I'm going to let you have this little stone and think of something joyful. And when things are going bad, just hold this stone with you and just know that God is with you and never leaves you, and you can find some joy and you can pass it on to someone else.
Oh, that is so awesome. I would really like, I hope that we can have time to go back through some of these topics that we're talking about today, but there's so much. But I'm going to, go ahead. Did you have
I was just going to say, I could go on forever about that. So,
we may come back to that one before
Okay.
it's over. Okay, tell me about, you are a co-founder of a cancer charity. Could you tell us a little bit about
Yes.
that?
Quite a few years ago, my daughter came down with cancer, and because of the treatment, she ended up with multiple sclerosis, and then because of those treatments, she ended up in kidney failure, and so she had to have a kidney transplant, which my son graciously donated a kidney. But her disease came back exponentially fast, and so she's still struggling with kidney failure. But when she just had cancer, we can say just had is horrible, but when you've got all of that, we decided, because God was so gracious to us during that time, that we were going to form a charity called Pink Outlaw that helped people with cancer anonymously. We would help them. And so that was what we did while she was able. And the charity is still there. It's just that she's not able right now to do what she wants to do. And once again, if God permits her to get to where she can, we will do this again.
But you did so many things, though. You took food, money, or whatever people
whatever
needed
anybody wanted.
that you heard about. You were there to help them anonymously.
Right.
Yeah.
Anonymously.
Oh, that's wonderful. See, that is so good. We just have a lot to cover. I want you to tell us about your ministry, your online blog. But can I just say one thing? When I saw this today, I just got really excited because, like I said, Dawn loves the Book of Proverbs.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm sure our viewers probably remember Tom Landry. Everybody remembers Tom, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Okay, I'm told that Tom Landry's favorite, he read one chapter of Proverbs every single day. There's 31 in the book, and if you just take any day of the month that you're in and read that particular chapter, it's so fulfilling, rewarding.
Right.
And I just copied a few of the things. Now there's a lot more, but there's a few quotes from Tom Landry. It's, today you have 100% of your life left. That's positive, isn't it?
Yes.
And he said, I've learned that something constructive comes from every defeat. I love that, because you and I talked about that the other day.
Right.
We have a lesson. If we have a defeat, let's just at least learn a lesson from it, because that's the best we can do. And a winner never stops trying. There's just a couple more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're prepared, you'll be confident, and you will do the job. So be prepared. That's all of these are from this wonderful man, Tom Landry, who read Solomon's. I don't know if he had breakfast with him, but he read one chapter every day. But if you want to win a game, you have to teach. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
So anyway, he's proof that reading and studying and practicing Proverbs can change your life. And also, your ministry is from the book of Proverbs, and it's Breakfast with Solomon. So tell us about that, because you can help a lot of people.
Well, during COVID, when we were shut down, I was by myself for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started thinking, I'll just read, some scripture here and there. I do that anyway, but I thought I'll just consistently start with one book. So I said, okay, I need some wisdom. We all need wisdom now, so I'll just pick Proverbs. So I started reading Proverbs every morning over my breakfast. I'd sit on the patio and read Proverbs, and I'd study and pray about it. And so when I finished Proverbs, I said, okay, I think I'll move on to something else. I've studied Proverbs. And just as plain as day, God said, no, sister, you're not. You need to go back, reread Proverbs, and whatever I tell you, inspire, then you need to write about it and use your photography, because I like to do word pictures. People learn a lot from looking at a picture more than what you're saying, actually.
That's right.
So I started writing that 3 years ago and picking out, just praying which verse that I need to work on, which pictures that week that I take that, went along with this program of what I wanted to say that week.
Uh-huh.
So I'm still doing it.
Wow.
So this is 3 years later, and you, like you said, Proverbs only got 31. 31. But you know what? There we go. It is, that's what we're doing.
That's right. Well, and your blog, we're going to, at the end of the program, we'll have it go across the screen, how they can find your blog. Right. And be able to participate. Is that good?
Yes, that's great. That's great. And occasionally I'll go to Ecclesiastes or Psalms, because that's David and that's, Solomon's kid, and we'll just use that, or we'll go to Ecclesiastes and the Song of Songs, whatever Solomon was involved in. Occasionally I'll go pull from that. Like last week's was on peacocks.
Oh, well, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I went to a little trip to visit family and friends, and I stayed at this bed and breakfast where this lady let her animals run free. And I always loved peacocks, and she had peacocks running free. There's one humongous peacock. I mean, his tail had to be 10 feet long. Anyway, he just hung around like a puppy at the door. He was just like a little puppy. And I thought, oh my goodness, so when I went home, I had these amazing photos, and I thought, what does peacocks have to do with Solomon? Well, lo and behold, Solomon was the king, right? He had everything you wanted. Well, every 3 years, he sent out a ship, and they would bring back gold, silver, herbs, spices, and peacocks.
Oh, how wonderful.
So I just took that as what peacocks are, and how took their, only males have the feathers, only males shed them after they mate, and how all that coincides with our walk with Christ, and how Christ is the beauty, and how we need to put forth our best side. Because we always look at peacocks, oh, they're so beautiful. Well, we need to put forth our beautiful side to people, so that they will come to us and ask. And that's not saying we don't have bad days, and I think it's perfectly okay to scream if you want to. If you want to get on your knees and scream, but look up and then get up and go, all right, hallelujah, let's start over. Like Tom Landry said, okay, let's start over.
And got a lot of stress relief from that scream. It didn't do any damage to anybody else.
Yeah, and just go on.
Right. Well, also, I know that you find beauty in brokenness.
I do.
And that's something that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, because you've taken a lot of broken things and made something beautiful of them. And that goes into your antiques and your art. You've done that with art. So I'm kind of keeping little teasers out there so people will really want to stay tuned. Okay. Before we do that, though, and we may come back to all this, we're just having fun talking and helping people. But your personal testimony is really interesting to me, because can you share as much of that as you want to about your parents, about your father, about your home and everything? And how that?
Yeah, my father, when I was born to a professional gambler.
I love that.
And a casino owner. Very successful, I might add.
Uh-huh.
A very outlaw, renegade, tall, dark, handsome, gun-toting man.
Really?
Yes. And then I guess my birth, he was a very compassionate man, empathetic. And so when he saw me, he said, I don't think I can do this. I need to do something more legitimate. So he went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from Appalachia, to study air conditioning so he could do a legitimate job. Mm-hmm. And when he was there, every day he walked past a church, and eventually he went in that church, and eventually the Lord saved him in that church. And wasn't long after that he started preaching, and he preached for 55 straight years. And I would say he maybe missed one Sunday in those 55 years.
Wow, 55 years.
And he became a very strict father, which is not always good for a creative, artistic, free thinker like myself. So we butted heads a lot. And I left home at 17 and did do some things that he probably wouldn't have been very proud of. And I didn't do what maybe normal teenagers would have done, but they were definitely renegade as far as my father would have been concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I did that, but all along God never left me. Never left me. Always heard him. Always heard him speak to me. I always prayed, even when I was outside his will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like to say I'm writing a piece now called I was the woman at the well, because I substituted relationships for what I thought would be love when I finally found out that the one true love that we have in life, and one pure love, unconditional love, is Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I want to be sure that we have enough time for us to share that, because I know there's so many young people, and I was also, and that, like you said, yes, that we were the woman in the well.
Mm-hmm.
I was too, and but so many, especially women, think that they're not complete without a husband, and they look for all of their love from that man. And I just wish that all women could know what you know, and how, if they'll just reach out to the Lord, he is a husband. There, in Isaiah, he says, I will be a husband to the
Right.
widow. And I'll, but you have to experience that.
You do, and you can't, like I said before to other people, you can't hide that knowledge under a bushel and be ashamed. You can be regretful and remorseful, but God has already forgiven you. So if you can help somebody through the mistakes that you've made, the scars that you have, God does let you have scars and wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you can heal and you can help somebody else heal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I really want to do, is I do have a heart for women. I happen to be an intuitive, empathetic, very sensitive person. So I can feel women's pain, and I want to help them maybe just feel better about themselves. You know, I think that's my ministry, is not necessarily giving them the fishes and the loaves. I can tell them where to go to get the fishes and the loaves, but mine is maybe giving them the want to go get the fishes and
Motivating
the motivate
them to
them
do
to
it.
say,
Yeah.
you know, daughter,
Aw.
you know, you're okay.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
You know, the Lord gave me something years ago, and I've never been able to put it together, but it was, let God love you.
Mm-hmm.
So many people they just won't let him, or for some reason they don't let him love them. Once they have received that love, that is truly life-changing. It does change your life. I just, if I'm not careful, I'll get into my testimony instead of yours, so they've heard mine. But truly, whenever I received the revelation knowledge of God's love, how could you not forgive everybody? How could you not rise above all your problems? Because you've got the creator of the universe on your side that loves you, and it's like you said, faithful, will never leave you, never forsake you, gonna take care of you, gonna see you through it all. That's so exciting.
Right.
And it's wonderful. And then, when you do have a husband and you have that love, that's just fulfilling also, but it never, ever takes the place of God.
No.
You're always independent.
He's a very jealous God.
Yeah.
You have to put him number one.
Yeah.
He's gonna get it.
Yeah. And aren't we glad?
Oh,
Aren't we
yeah.
glad that he loves us now? Okay, we only have a few minutes left,
Okay.
so I definitely want you to tell our viewers about Zazzy Z. Zazzy
You
Z,
must have looked me up.
the divine dumpster diva, and the purposeful repurposer. Did I say that right?
Right. So I was born repurposed. You know,
Yeah.
God repurposes us. He takes us and molds us into what He needs us to be. I'm broken. I was broken, and He saw the light in me, and so I do that. Yes, with my art, I like things that are not perfect, that have imperfections, that are broken, or somebody else might throw away. I can see beauty in that, and I can put it together in something that I think is lovely, and it brings me joy. It might make somebody else laugh, which is okay. That gives them joy. But I like finding, I like to do that. I like to find purpose in things that somebody else may say has no purpose. And that includes people, or it's just thing. I like working with it. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
for me.
So you said something about if you have a cat with a
Oh yeah.
with a hat, a different head on it or something.
Yeah,
Tell
well,
us about some
well,
of
I
the
find in my studio I have different things. I have a cat's body that's all beautifully ceramic, a beautiful body, but doesn't have a head. So I put a doll's head on it.
Yeah.
With a crown, and she's got feathers coming out of her crown, and I can tell a story about that. I mean, each piece I can relate a story to. Or I have another doll body that has a lion's head. It's a human body with a lion's head. Or I've got a doll that has no head but just has a hat on. You know, and that's another story. You can take your hat off. I mean, each of them can tell a story, and
people love stories. They love stories.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I would think it would be so nice if we could find the time, in God's will, that we could bring some of those things here, or we could visit your studio, and then you could tell us the stories as we go through those.
Right. I have one, and her name's Zelda, and she's the full armor of God girl. And put her together out of a big stand. She's about, maybe not 6 feet tall, but over 5 feet tall. And she's a metal girl all put together. And I have on her an old telephone dial. And when I had my shop, I had a barn where I used to have these sales for missions. People would come get their pictures taken with her. And I'd explain to them on this dial, I said, you can call God anytime. This is the phone that is 24/7. That's what that means. Then I had a baby on there. I say, God loves everybody. Children, adults, old, no age. And Zelda's arms are pointing like this. She's pointing up. But she has a heart right here that's protected. She has on Ephesians. You know, she has on a helmet, which is the helmet of salvation. She has on a belt of truth, breastplate of righteousness, and one of the most important things, she has on shoes of peace. And there are big peace signs on her feet. And that is so that we can walk in peace, you know, and hold our tongues if we have to, tick a lock when we have to, but present God. And that doesn't mean being weak, actually. Sometimes that means you're very strong. So that's one of my bigger pieces that I like, that people like to have their pictures made by her.
We would love that. I know our viewers would really like that also. And so let me see real quickly. You've owned your own shop. You have an estate liquidation company.
I did. I'm retired.
Oh, you're retired.
I'm retired
Okay.
from all that now. I did. Had an estate liquidation company, an appraisal business, and then I had my art barn where I had sales for missions.
And you did fundraising.
Did fundraising, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that when you started this, there was no eBay.
No.
There was no internet or TV junkie shows.
None of that.
And all you had to find were quaint little shops in areas where the ladies were doing their antiques.
Right.
And so, anyway, you got very excited about it. God just put that in you. Had to do that because that's an art.
I've done it all my life. I got my first piece when I was 9 years old. I went to my first auction at 11. And yes, I still have those same pieces. So if they weren't antiques then, they definitely are now. And and I don't do so much of that anymore, but I still find things to make my art out of.
Well, when you mentioned the armor of God, we talked the other day too about the fact that the armor of God, helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, girdle of truth, shield of faith, sword of spirit. I taught Sunday school forever, and that was one of the things that we draw pictures of the whole armor of God. But you said, and I said, it doesn't have anything on the back.
No.
So we know that the enemy came to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus said, I came that you would have life and have it more abundantly. And that's what you've talked about so much. You want everybody to have abundant life. But we can't have abundant life if we're running from the enemy. Right. We've got to stand and face our problems. Face the problems, whether they're from the enemy or circumstances of life or whatever. We've got to face them, because if we run, see, he can get us in the back.
Exactly.
God has our back, but we're taught to just let God face the battles for us with us, because he'll always be there. Well, I think we're just about out of time, and we want to be able to have our viewers get in touch with you. So we're going to put that information across the screen.
Okay.
And I think that's, we always are looking for just another minute or two. So do you have anything in closing that you would like to say, or prayer, or?
Well, if people read Breakfast with Solomon and they have any questions, they feel free to ask me. I just always close out with grab joy, share joy, and enjoy. And that's what I want. That's my ministry, is not only for everybody else, but for me daily, because as an empathetic, intuitive, sensitive person, I can get down pretty quickly. and I can take other people's burdens upon on myself without, even thinking. But I know that God has got this, and He has taught me that. So I have to tell myself all the time the same thing.
Get it from them and give it to God.
And give it to God and just say, Lord, help me grab joy.
Yeah.
And so to share this joy.
Yeah.
And help me to enjoy what you've given me. So that's what I want people to do. And that's not saying I don't realize what real life is. Believe me, I do. So it's not even a daily walk. It's a second by second by second.
And you're choosing what you think. That go back to
just keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going, and just keep going with that, and being able to lift up the guns. And when you can't, just say, I can't. Lord, please speak for me.
Mm-hmm.
Speak joy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really want, is for people to, in this day and age especially, to know the love of Jesus and to know His joy.
Oh, that's wonderful, Z.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful. Well, this has been a tremendous program, so I'm really looking forward to this going out worldwide on our network. We're a worldwide network,
Thank you.
and we are on YouTube. So people can always find this here, this whole program. We keep it on there, and it's in an on-demand. So if someone would like to go back and review this again and pick up the phone numbers and everything, you can always do that on YouTube.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Carol.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You're
it.
just so welcome. We were blessed. We thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
It's a God thing.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, God bless, and we will see you next time.